And here we go. Race number 2 on the evening here at FATHEADZ TV. Thank you, everybody, for coming back or joining us for the first time here Wednesday night. A little bit of FATHEADZ Cup Series action. The way back 150. Some throwback action here at the Darlington Raceway. Showtime, Paul Strickland Jr. Taking a quick little seat here in the commentary booth, waiting on Mike James to hop off the jet. He said he had to stop real quick for a smoke break, maybe grab an ice-cold beer and head on over here to the commentary booth. So you're stuck with me for at least a few laps. Kyle Young returning here from vacation last week, and we had a great race last night with the RBR Maritime Series. But here to go a little bit of throwback racing here, Kyle.
That we are, Paul, the way back 150 here for the FATHEADZ Cup Series. This should be a very fun one. Darlington Raceway, one of the most unique racetracks on the NASCAR circuit. It's loved by fans and it's loved by drivers as well, despite the fact that it is one of also the toughest racetracks for these drivers to deal with, and that's why she's called the track Too Tough to Tame. Should be a very fun and exhilarating 100 laps here around the Lady in Black, and it's always fun to see throwback paint schemes on the race cars as well.
100%. You can actually see the different drivers and throwback paint schemes kind of sifting across the bottom of your screen. They're going in numerical order, and it's pretty cool. You can see Terry Labonte Ironman throwback for Wade Palmer IV and number 5. Chris Spear, he's got a Jeff Bodine X-Side car. That was one of my favorite cars growing up as a kid, was the that car there. You can see a Bill Elliott Coors car from Matt Mackin. So pretty cool that these guys are able to do that. We got to give a shout out to Chris Spear for putting together the graphics, letting us know who's in what car here this evening. There you can see a Richard Beasley. Oh no, that's Ricky Rudd there in the 10-tide car. Darrell Waltrip throwback for Wayne Bowen. So pretty cool to have all the different throwbacks here. We'll run that graphic a couple of times throughout the evening here tonight. And we're going to get some racing in. The track Too Tough to Tame, is that what it's called here?
Indeed it is, and the driver that was able to find a way to tame this racetrack in qualifying, the 88 machine of Ed Boyles Jr., he is going to roll off on the pole. He's going to have Matt Mackin, his teammate, on the outside of him in position number 2. Kenny Capalla in position number 3, matching that number 3 on the side of his car. Chris Spear, as you made mention, the Jeff Burton throwback. He is in position number 4. And then Trevor Absher, who is running a fairly recent throwback not too long ago, the number 19 Xfinity Toyota Camry that Carl Edwards made famous back in his Cup Series days with Joe Gibbs Racing. So here we go, the way back 150 about ready to take the green flag. Pace car is on pit road. The Hendrick Motorsports teammates of Ed Boyles Jr. and Matt Mackin will lead the field to the initial green flag. They've got a bit of a gap already back to the second row, and the green flag flies. We are underway here with the way back 150 at the Darlington Raceway. A huge launch for Ed Boyles Jr. He's going to lead the field down into turns 1 and 2 for the first time, and we already have a caution.
Caution out on the speedway, and well, that gives me an opportunity to introduce myself here for the Vanane.shop instant replay. Looks like well, the 22 looks like he started on pit road here, Kyle, and I see the 18 car looks like he is in harm's way. So we're gonna take a quick peek at that replay and see if we can find out what happened here. Looks a lot of times with these starts and restarts, we get cars kind of jumbled up just a little bit. But here's Jimmy Abster, number 18, starting on the low side, and currently scored in the 27th position. Started a little bit in front of that. There you can see a Dirty Mo car. That's always cool to see a DMP machine in throwback races. But you can see kind of shoots down low. May very well not have been the caution. He might have just wanted to start in the back here. And I'm not Not seeing any kind of action to say anything otherwise. There we go. 13 to 41 to 13 of Preston Perrier, and the 31 car getting a little bit tangled up here. We'll back it up one more time. We'll give it to you. We'll give it to you in slow motion because we can do that here on Vidane TV and focus in on that number 13 Geico machine of Preston Perrier because we saw that he was pointed wrongly a little bit here, and you can see he kind of closes up on the back bumper, the 19 just a bit, gets a little bit closer, and as he gets up there, there's contact there. The 19 and the 47, Alonzo King and the 19 car, Trevor Abshner, kind of get into each other, and there you see the 13 trying to check up. 12 gives him a little bit of a boot ski, sends him on around. No damage on the 12, but the back end of that 13 is all sorts of caved in, especially after that second shot there from the 41, so that's a tough break, but that's still early. We got 100 laps to go, or 100 laps in this race, so about 95 laps to go, and plenty of time to get these cars worked on and get these drivers back up front. And well, I told you I wasn't going to be here for too long. Mike James from The Rock from Eastbound up in Canada. I was keeping your seat warm here for you, bud.
Yeah, I got stuck in the lineup at the food canteen. I had to get a bit of grub in me here.
Oh, did you get my pretzel?
No, sorry, bro. But glad to be here in Darlington, and my good bud Ed Boyles Jr. controlling this one. But caution early, Kyle, to get things going here. But some calamity at the early sets of this race.
Yeah, the quick caution there kind of killing the earlier race hype. Didn't get an opportunity at all for these drivers to stretch their legs and get these cars up to full song. So delaying that process just a little bit. Not really much of a complaint out of those Hendrick Motorsports guys up at the front. Gives them a few extra laps to secure their lead and maybe kind of figure out what things they learned there on that initial start that they can improve here on this restart. And, of course, that incident going to shake things up a little bit in the running lineup. Don't believe that anybody was too terribly involved in that to knock them out of the race. I can see that John Tuddy and that 41 machine, he did lose a lap and a hood in damage repair, but other than that, it appears that everybody was able to escape that without too much major issues, and we should be able to continue on with a full field. 27 cars taking the green flag here tonight for the Wayback 150 at the Darlington Raceway. Another strong showing for these drivers here in the Fatheads Cup Series. And we're getting down, starting to really think about playoff time here, Mike. Only 5 races remain coming into tonight's race. 16-race regular season. This is race number 12, so drivers starting to run out of opportunities to get themselves into the playoffs. We currently have 5 drivers that are locked in on wins, so there's another 11 that are sitting in on points, and the bubble right now is pretty close. You got the first 4 cars that are outside of the playoff grid, only separated by 15 points, so this is going to be a very fun story to watch throughout the rest of this regular season.
Well, this is my 4th showing here at the Fatheads Cup Series, and I can tell you these guys know how to get it going. But unfortunately for the 13 of Preston Perrier and Trevor Absher, 2 front-running cars usually have got a bit of work and a bit of damage on that 13 for the Geico machine. But unfortunately for him, that RCR team is going to be trying to work all the way from the back of the pack here. So we'll finally get some green flag laps in just a moment as the pace car will be set to exit here. Lights are out. It's going to be Ed Boyles Jr. with the hammer here to get things going. It's going to be Matt Mackin to the outside. Keep an eye on that Kenny Coppola on row number 2 in the Wrangler 3 machine, trying to get things going here. We are set to go green, Kyle. This is going to be a wild night here in Darlington.
Sure is. Let's take it for another attempt and see if this one is better. Another great start for the 88 of Ed Boyles Jr. Leaves the field in his dust. My goodness, half a second as he comes across the line. He just absolutely murdered these drivers, and his teammate Matt Mackin is going to lose position number 2 to the 3 of Coppola. Coppola will take the Wrangler car to position number 2, and he is sliding, going to give it up. What a tremendous save. That could have gotten ugly, but a great save there by Coppola. He'll lose a ton of positions, but it is much better than the alternative.
Almost tagging the pit road exit there, but manages, like you said, to control that car and not pick up a lot of damage, but a lot of scrubbing on those tires. So he's going to hopefully get back on the hammer here. But Ed Boyles, like I said, what a huge launch coming out of that one. Now picking up about a second and a half now on Matt Mackin, his partner in crime, part of the Hendricks Motorsports team. Boyles, Mackin, your 1-2. Chris Beer in the third spot there. He finds himself almost 2 seconds behind our leader, Caleb Levener, in position number 4. But Wade Palmer, the 5th, the 24th, finds himself in the top 5.
So after that early scare there on the opening lap of the restart, we're getting things strung out here just a little bit. Battle for position number 4 going on. Caleb Levener, last week's winner at the Kansas Speedway, sacrificed that spot as he hits the wall off return number 2, and now Wade Palmer the 5th does the same in the center of 3 and 4, allows Levener to get back to the inside, but that top line going to prevail for the 24 machine, and Wade Palmer the 5th will hang on to position number 4. That battle is allowing the 2 machine of Patrick McLendon to roll his way up into the mix here to try to make this a 3-car battle for position number 4, but they stay single file for the moment as they go into turns number 3 and 4.
Yeah, we're seeing a bit of scrubbing on the outside wall. Levener just tagging the wall just a little bit, loses a bit of momentum here. Now getting a little bit of a jump here now, coming right back on the hammer, but look at that, Wade Palmer the 5th checking out, but the 2 hard charging with the 12 of Levener, real loose now coming out of the corner. He's going to drop a couple of spots here as the rest of the field come up, and he tries to maintain his composure. But the 12 machine way off the pace right now. Looks like could be a tire as he checks in with pit road.
Things not going well for last week's winner, Caleb Levener. He is on pit road under green flag conditions, so this is going to cost him his lead lap run at the moment. So we'll have to check in to see if he is able to recover later on in this event. Again, a 150-mile, 100-lap event, so still plenty of time early on. Not at all how you want to start your race, but still have an opportunity to recover. The gap up front here, Mike, has dramatically shrunken in. Matt Mackin in the number 9 machine has reeled in his teammate quite well. He is just under half a second behind Ed Boyles Jr., so could see a battle for the race lead here amongst teammates in a few laps or so. Lap number 12 will go on the record book this time by. It's been a Hendrick-dominated race thus far. Still very early on, though, but these Hendrick cars looking strong at the front of the field.
It'll be interesting throughout this 100-lap main here in Darlington how pit road will come into a factor. These guys are like chess players. We've seen a lot of green flag pit stops, and it's going to be one of these nights. I have a funny feeling here in Darlington it's going to be a lot to do with pit strategy here tonight as Ed Boyles Jr. controls this one. Got about a full second now on Chris Beer, who's our third place 7 car, coming in and a little bit hot here now, trying to gain a little bit of traction here, trying to reel in Matt Mackin now, but about 0.6 of a second off our P2.
These 3 cars, as Mike just mentioned, 1.1 seconds separating all 3 of them, and then you got to go back another 2.5 seconds to find where Wade Palmer the 5th is sitting in that number 24 machine in position number 4. So this field didn't take long for them to get strung out and stretched out here, logging some green flag laps, trying to figure out how their cars drive around this 1.36 mile uniquely shaped racetrack that is Darlington Raceway. This is an open setup series, so these drivers have the opportunity to adjust on their cars and do whatever it is that they would like to them. So green flag pit stops, as you mentioned there, Mike, could be very important to these drivers to help set those cars up even better once they get under racing conditions and see what they need and where they're fitting in amongst their competition.
Well, a couple of cars going down on 2 laps now. Levener with that tire going down is going to cost him 2 laps. But John Tuddy, who's involved with that early caution, the 41 of John Tuddy now 2 laps down as well. He'll be your first car if a caution comes back with the lucky dog. But a couple cars now with a bit of a mulligan. Hopefully they can get back a couple of cautions here to maintain some laps here, but 2 laps down, not looking good for 41 and 12.
A car that is looking good, though, is that 7 machine of Chris Spear. He is reeled in Matt Mackin and is only about 3 car lengths behind that Coors Light number 9, the paint scheme made famous by Bill Elliott. running through turns number 3 and 4 now. You can see the Exide Batteries number 7 machine closing in even more as they come off of turn 4. Slight wiggle there by Mackin. Look at that 7. Spear's going to take a peek to the inside. Will he drive it in? He does not. Did not have enough speed to get underneath of Mackin, so he'll back off. Let Mackin pull away just a little bit. Different line, way more momentum. Look out, Mackin's in the wall, and Spear gets into the back bumper of him. Those two cars stay straight. They make contact, significant damage to both of those vehicles, but we stay clean and green.
Well, that's going to be an opportunity for Ed Boyles to gain a huge gap now, 2.7 seconds on this run between the 7 and the 9. But a lot of exchange of paint. Now the 7 goes hard charge to the bottom. But what we've seen earlier in that battle, the 9 and Matt Mackin kind of shut the door on a strong run for the 7. But now after that incident, now the 7 gets clear and sets sail to try to catch our leader, Ed Boyles Jr.
Yeah, that incident put these guys 2.6 seconds behind a race leader, Ed Boyles Jr. Now that Chris Spear has cleared the number 9 machine, as you said, he will have his sights set on that number 88 machine and see if he can reel him in and contest for this race lead. It'll be interesting to see what he can do with that front end damage. Lots of damage to the nose of that Exide Batteries number 7 Chevrolet Camaro. So not exactly sure how that will affect the performance of that machine, but we'll just have to keep an eye on it. As now it looks like for the first time already here, Mike, Ed Boyles Jr. is going to enter himself into some lap traffic.
Yeah, he's coming up on the 22 of Colin Zimmer, and he's going to have to navigate through some of this traffic. But look at this. A lot of these cars are driven up to the high line and exchange some paint with that wall. That's going to knock off a bit of momentum on the 88 as he struggles to get around the corner here. High line a little loose here as they get up into that wall, but 88 now setting the sights on the 22 of Colin Zimmer. His next target will be the 27 of Ian Yeager.
Has not taken these drivers long to earn their Darlington stripes. The lady in black coming out and biting a lot of these guys very early on. We're closing in on the 1 quarter mark already. Whoa, there's another little kiss to the outside wall there for race leader Ed Boyles Jr. The 22 machine of Zymer will hold on to the inside, allow Boyles Jr. to get on by, and now the free pass recipient will go to that number 22 machine. As you can see, the 2 car, the teammate to the 22, has now moved his way into position number 2. Caution flag now flies. Not sure if this is related or not, Mike, but I no longer see the 7 machine of Chris Spear inside the top 7 positions or so.
Yeah, Chris Spear has checked in with pit road, and there is a bit of smoke down there. I think he just got it going again, but a lot of smoke coming out of the 7, actually. Looks like could be an engine issue, but we're going to bring in Paul Showtime Strickland to take us back to kind of see what happened with the 7.
Yeah, we're just backing up through the Brain Dot Shop instant replay here on the number 7. He didn't hit anything, but it definitely looks like a blown motor on that number 7. I believe he was running up in the top 5, and we did see him down pit road. We are just going to kind of quick step through this because we backed this up just a few laps to make sure we didn't miss any of the action. So we can see just kind of quick stepping through the tapes, and all by himself, doesn't hit the wall or anything like that. Running a really good line, just kind of a couple of car lengths, and there you see it, just pops the motor. So we're actually going to ride on board with the 7 of Chris Spear and see if we can maybe hear this thing grenade. There you can see 9,200 RPMs right up by that wall there, and you should be able to hear it coming up. Oh, well, we missed it already. It looks like it may very well have been coming into the corner here. Unfortunately, with iRacing, the telemetry doesn't pop up with all the different temperatures and things like that, but there you can see it just kind of lets go in the corners here, and as we switch cameras, you can see black smoke pumping out of the back of this machine. You can see there is some front end damage on that car, so it might have been a combination of the car running a little bit too hot, but a little bit of damage on that goes a long way, and it looks like pit road here is a busy place.
Could have had some damage earlier on with that incident with the 9 of Matt Mackin, and could have upset the balance of that car. But you seen the red light over 9,000 RPMs, and then the motor going kaput. But unfortunately for him, he's going to find himself all the way down on pit road for 3 laps down now. as I believe that's going to end the night for the 7 machine of Chris Spear.
You have to imagine that the blown motor comes after that contact with the 9 machine of Matt Mackin, causing all that front end damage. The car just overheated from the damage. Could possibly be a combination with the tape that's on the front end of that machine, and pop goes the weasel. The motor is blown on the 7 of Chris Spear. Also looking through the tape there, I think what the caution was flown for here, gentlemen, was the 3 machine of Kenny Capola. He got into it with the 15 car of Ryan Kling and took a spin and hard contact into the inside wall on the back straightaway. The rear end of that Wrangler Jeans, number 3 machine completely gone. The front end surprisingly not too badly damaged up, but the rear end is non-existent on Kenny Capola's ride, so he's going to have to struggle around this racetrack with some damage for the remainder of this event. And looks like coming out of pit road here, the shakeup has allowed Ed Boyles Jr. to stay in the race lead, and it appears that Caleb Levener in the 12 machine is going to take the wave round to get one of his laps back.
Yeah, the 18 of Jimmy Absher was contemplating on maintaining the lead there, but all competitors going down pit road, I believe he decided, it's time to go as well. So Absher will slide back now into the 18th position, still on pit road. Dave Duthwaite is still on pit road as well. They're now exiting, coming back into the field. Jimmy Absher is going to find himself in P19 from giving up that lead there, but looks like Ed Boyles Jr. is going to maintain this with the 12 machine. He's down quite a few laps. That is Caleb Levener. He is down 1 lap currently.
Yeah, this wave around will give him one of his 2 laps back, so he will have to try to battle with the 3 machine of Kenny Capola for the free pass if another caution flag were to fly. You can see him go around the pace car, and the field is going to double up and get ready to go back to green flag racing. It will come at the completion of lap number 27. Ed Boyles Jr. will retain the race lead. He now has Patrick McLendon in the 2 machine on his outside. Teammate to Ed Boyles Jr., Matt Mackin, the Hendrick Motorsports stable. Actually, 2 of his teammates make up row number 2. Matt Mackin in position number 3, and Michael Miller running the Jimmy Johnson throwback paint scheme that Jimmy ran last year in the throwback race, the combination paint scheme of Richard Petty and Dale Earnhardt. And then completing the top 5. Man, look at that. 4 of the 5 Hendrick Motorsports cars inside the top 5. Wade Palmer, the 5th, hanging inside in position number 5 as well. And that Jeff Gordon Rainbow Warrior throwback.
Well, it's going to be an interesting, wild night. We're a quarter away. We've seen a couple of cautions here, but the green flag cautions, we haven't seen that. So this may shake up some of the strategies here tonight on pit road, but looks like from the pit time stops, some people only picked up 2 tires here. But Ed Boyles Jr. gets the hammer. He gets things going. Builds a bit of a bridge from Patrick McLennan in the 2 as he sets his sail out there and picks up almost a half a second on P2.
Ed Boyles Jr. has been dynamite so far on these starts and restarts, and he does the same again, already out to 0.8 of a second over that 2 machine, back in position number 2. Things are much tighter behind the race leader, though. Your top 5 cars still pretty well bunched together. And how about Preston Perrier, all the way already back up to position number 6 after being involved in that lap 1 incident. He is starting to close in on Wade Palmer, the 5th, and wants to try to get inside the top 5 for the first time here tonight. A driver that has recovered from some adversity, and what a save there by the 48 of Michael Miller. All sorts of sideways off of turn number 2, gathers it back up, and really didn't lose too much time on his teammate there in the 24.
Well, the 13 obviously making some repairs. 2 stops here tonight, but that's going to bring in the caution once again. We've seen a lot of green flag runs from these guys here at the FATHEADZ Cup Series, but this one, caution breeds cautions. That's going to bring in our friend Paul Showtime Strickland here on lap number 30.
Yeah, the track too tough to tame, earning its nickname here tonight. A couple of drivers not really struggle with the track. It's just every once in a while the track kind of reaches out and grabs a race car, and well, sometimes you get a little bit of help from your friends here, and we'll take a peek here at the number 33, Tim Ingram, pointed in the wrong direction and pulling up to Vidane.shop instant replay now. And we're actually going to do a little half speed on this. You can see the 33 was kind of down low, crossed up over that line, different banking styles there, loses the back end of the race car, and the 19 car was already there, so really nowhere to go. 33 almost had it saved, but there was the 47, the nose was there, and unfortunately got the 33 hooked on a round, shot down to the inside pit wall there, and it does look like there's some black smoke coming out of that car, so looks like there may be some terminal issues with that number 33 Skull car.
Well, taking a look at him right now on the racetrack, and I don't see that smoke, so maybe it dissipated once that car started to drive away, but you can see lots of significant damage on that Skull Bandit number 33. The rear end is missing, kind of like Kenny Capola in the number 3, some front end damage as well, so a lot of drivers getting bit by the Lady in Black here tonight. We kind of expected some turmoil tonight, Mike. This track is very challenging. It's very unique, very difficult on these drivers, and starting to see some of that struggles here throughout the first third of this event here tonight.
So, Kyle, you're a bit of a track chaser. Have you been to Darlington?
I have not been to the Darlington Raceway as of yet, but as long as we get the word here, hopefully soon, that I'll be making the move officially down to North Carolina, I definitely have the plans to attend, hopefully, both races at the track Too Tough to Tame for the first time in person later this year.
Well, we talked about it earlier about a Vidane TV Hangover Part 4 road trip. Maybe we can put in a couple of tracks and hang out in real life. As this COVID-19 hopefully will be off and set sail so we can get back to the real world and back to the real racetrack. I know you're pretty excited about the big move down to North Carolina and in the epicenter of racing.
I mean, how can you not be excited about going down to Race City, USA, right?
Well, I'll definitely be seeing you at the NASCAR awards this year. Hopefully that'll happen. But lots of activity in the NASCAR world. What did you think of the road course at Daytona?
Well, we got to get that border opened up too for you, Mike. You can't come down until that border opens up there in Canada.
We'll get that private jet and just sneak down there. But we should get back to racing here in just a moment, as there's still single file coming around. Pace lights still out on the Mustang as the pace car still sets them around here. We're going to lose another lap here. Still plenty of activity on pit road. A lot of these competitors repairing damages. Trevor Absher in the 19th, 3 pit stops here tonight, but still maintaining on the lead lap. He's going to find himself in the 19th position, matching his car number.
Also worth mentioning that the quick yellow was a great benefit for the 3 machine of Kenny Capola. He gets himself back on the lead lap now, so the only 3 cars off of the lead lap are the 12 of Caleb Levener. He is 1 lap down, and he will be the next car eligible for the free pass. The 41 machine of John Tuddy, he was involved in that first lap incident. He's been trying to repair that car. He's done a good job. The car looking much better than what it did earlier on in this race, but unfortunately he is 5 laps down. And then you have Chris Spear, who we mentioned, Blue O Motor. He's going to be on pit road for quite a while if he even returns to this race at all. So he's going to have to hope for some drivers to fall out of this race if he's going to do anything more than finishing last today.
Yeah, it's going to be a challenge. Still plenty of race, though. 67 laps to go. Lights are out on the Mustang. We're going to get back to green flag here with the 2-car. Patrick McClellan to the outside of Ed Boyles Jr. We've seen some big launches from Ed Boyles as he snails around. Kind of holds the field back just a little bit here. And he'll fire when he's damn well ready, but he's holding them back here. He fires, kind of slows everybody's momentum, gets a huge launch once again. He is the artist here tonight on the restarts as he gains a huge gap right now on Patrick McClellan.
Opens up a 3/4 of a second lead already over Patrick McClendon in the 2 machine. McClendon did a pretty good job of spacing himself out from the 9 of Matt Mackin. Mackin about, I'd say, 7 or 8 car lengths behind that 2 machine running in position number 2. Much different lines out of Matt Mackin and the 48 of Mike Miller through 3 and 4. Mackin tried the top side. Miller was down on the bottom. Didn't really see much of an advantage from either driver as the gap between the two of them stayed the same. And those Hendrick Motorsports cars lined up in positions 3, 4, and 5, trying to track down the Team Penske number 2 of Patrick McClendon so they can make it a Hendrick 1, 2, 3, 4.
Big battle right now. Preston Puri trying to get around Wade Palmer to 5th as he pings off the map there just for a little bit, probably some internet issues. But you got to give props to the RCR 13 Geico machine of Preston Puri. I mean, with that huge smack from the 41 to maintain composure here on lap number 36 and find himself in the top 6 and still attacking. A very impressive run right now for Preston.
Yeah, a lot of the damage done to that machine kind of centered around the rear end, and it really doesn't look all that bad. The spoiler's a little bit banged up, but still in fairly good shape, and he's making that Geico number 13 look very well. Preston Purrier was a winner earlier in the season at Atlanta Motor Speedway, so he knows that he is going to be a playoff driver this season, just trying to do what he can to rack up some more points and put himself in a better opportunity come playoff time to win the championship. Well, now that we've gotten things kind of settled in on this green flag run, we made mention, unfortunately, that the 7 machine of Chris Spear blowing a motor earlier in this race, and Chris has been oh so generous enough to make his way across the racetrack and up into the announcer's booth with us. Chris, crappy circumstances for you to be here. It's a shame, but glad to join us tonight.
Absolutely. I hate being up here with you guys, but I'm sure we can make a fun night out of already what seems to be a bad one.
Chris, take us through what happened there. Was it the contact with Mackin that might have caused that bit of damage with the motor?
Absolutely. Matt was starting to get really tight coming out of the corner on 2. He probably hit it 2 or 3 times right in a row, and I really should have been paying more attention to it. But, this might as well be a short track, even though it's a mile and a half.
Well, wild night, but unfortunate for you, you're up here in the booth with the hooligans. But it's great to have you up here and calling all the way from Canada. Nice to meet you. But any favorites here tonight, Chris?
Well, my favorite is still going to be, I've said it all week long, it's going to be Kenny Coppola. I know he's got damage, but I still think he's going to make his way back up to the front. And he ought to. He probably put in about 6,000 to 7,000 laps here this week.
Kyle, I don't even think you got that much time, do you?
No, not at all. That is some serious dedication, and it's such a shame to hear that, to put in all that practice time and have things go rogue for you early on. But he's doing a good job. He's back on the lead lap, like we mentioned. He's trying to get himself back inside the top 20, and we have a new leader for the first time here tonight, guys. Patrick McClendon in the 2 machine gets around Ed Boyles Jr., and he is going to lead his first lap of the night. Big slide there for the 88 of Boyles Jr., who's able to hang on. And now instead of the Hendrick Motorsports cars going 1 through 4, they're now 2 through 5, as McClendon in the 2 grabs the lead for the first time tonight.
Well, Miller now setting his sights on the 88, his teammate, trying to make it work here. But new leader, like you said, Patrick McClendon getting it done here. But we got another car coming off the pace heading down pit road. Pit road, bit adventurous here. Did you have any strategies here tonight, Chris, coming into Darlington on pit road?
Absolutely. Pit every 20 to 35 laps if possible. As far as getting on pit road, honestly, I didn't expect we were going to have a lot of green flag runs. I was really surprised by the first one. So I only practiced it a couple times. But as long as you practice it once or twice, maybe that'll help.
Kyle, we've seen in this series, depending on the setup Chris, were you setting up today for a long run or short run?
Oh, I think absolutely everyone was expecting short runs. This long runs is kind of blowing us all away. We did a lot of practice here this week and did practice races, and we never went as long as we have tonight.
Yeah, well, we've seen a lot of green flag runs for you guys in this series. Chicago was definitely interesting for sure, but we'll see what happens here. 44 laps completed, bit of a green stretch here, Kyle.
Yeah, starting to work into a nice green flag run, and Patrick McLendon has absolutely left the field behind him after taking over the race lead. That machine looking very smooth out in front of the field. He has extended that lead to just over 2 seconds now, and he's only been out front for 2 or 3 laps, so really showing what the pace is underneath the hood of that 2 car. Could potentially have a better long run car than anybody else here tonight. And well, as soon as we start talking about the longer runs, now the caution flag comes out to eliminate that, so we're going to go back under the yellow silk here tonight. Scrolling through, and it looks like we have some cars in trouble on the back straightaway. I think potentially the 47. It is the 47 of Alonzo King. He gets crossed up with the 5 car of Wade Palmer, the 4th. Those 2 cars making contact, coming off of turn number 2 and meeting the outside wall. Caution flag coming out for that. Lots of damage to the 47 there of Alonzo King.
Yeah, taking a look at the Verdane Shop instant replay now, and you can see side-by-side action, and 5 comes up from the bottom lane just a little bit, crosses over that white line, doesn't really do anything to the car, but it looks like just going for the same piece of real estate. Spotter didn't quite clear him, and big damage to the 47 there. You see it on your screen. Front end kind of looking like an open wheel modified that you'd see up in the Northeast here in the Stafford Speedway and Speed Bowl and Thompson and all those tracks, but tough break for the 47. It doesn't look like it slowed him down a whole heck of a lot, but still running about mid-pack. And, boys, it looks like we're having a party on pit road again.
Big party on pit road, but look at that. Preston Puria decides to stay out and take over that lead. The 13 Geico machine has been down pit road twice. Finds himself in the lead. I'm not sure if he's going to come down on this one coming around. But a lot of activity right now. And look at that, your 3-car, Kenny Capola, now moving up to the 7th position there, Chris.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting that the RCR guys decided to stay out. I definitely wouldn't have called that. If anything, I would assume that Preston's going to pit here, just getting that 1 bonus point for leading the lap.
It's all about the bonus points.
So I guess, Chris, seeing that you are a competitor, what can you explain for all of our viewers here tonight? We know that you guys are running a similar format to the Real World NASCAR Cup Series format when it comes to the playoff and the championship race, but obviously with this being a 100-lap race, you guys don't do stage points or anything like that. So how does that bonus point for Preston Poirier or for any of these drivers leading laps tonight see the longevity and the benefit throughout the season and into the playoffs?
It's kind of similar to a mixture of the old and the new. So the bonus point you would get, you don't actually get until you get into the playoffs. So when the field resets at the end of the 16, I'm listening to my crew chief in my ear tell me how much time I've got left before I can actually get out there with these guys. It sounds like you're going to get a reset. You'll get 2,000 points to start the beginning of the playoff, and for those 16, plus whatever your bonus points are. So you get 5 for winning a race. You get 1 for leading the laps. You get 1 for actually being the cleanest driver, which no one will get tonight.
That is super awesome. I like that a lot. Like you said, a really good mixture of old school and new school. Instead of doing playoff points and stages, you guys incorporate the old school bonus points and consider those your playoff points. So I like that a lot. That's very cool that you guys do it that way. And there you go, leading a lap, get yourself a playoff point. That'll definitely help out throughout the season.
Well, Perrier has stayed out, so not sure what the strategy is here, but he's kind of taking a peek here. Lights are out on that pace car, so we're going to get set to go 2 wide. But quick question to Chris before he leaves us to go back to the racetrack. Chris, are you running your own spotter and crew chief here tonight, or are you a solo man?
It's a mixed bag. Tonight I actually did not have a spotter. Usually I do have one, but otherwise I use the crew chief app for everything else I need.
I've interviewed quite a few of you guys, but a lot of you guys solo on a lot of activity, so a little bit of pressure on the driver to try to control all that stuff. But it gets pretty interesting here at the FATHEADZ Cup Series, and best of luck. I'm sure if you can get out there, hopefully you can turn some green flag laps.
I definitely hope so, but at this point I still got about another 14 minutes of repair.
Well, you have 14 minutes of fun with me and Kyle, and don't take that the wrong way. But we got green flag, and pace car has exited. It's going to be Preston Period to get things going here, but does not hesitate. It's a huge launch right now on the 22 of Colin Zimmer. Zimmer kind of falling asleep at the wheel there as Period just exited monstrously, picking up a huge half-second gap right now.
And a very good restart for the two of Patrick McLendon as well. He went from 6th to 3rd on that outside line off the start. Ed Boyles Jr. applying some pressure, going down the back straightaway and into turn number 3 here. Whoa, Zymer's up into the outside wall there in position number 2, and his teammate McLendon behind him slides. That's going to open up the outside line for Ed Boyles Jr. He is going to take over 3rd, now going to go way to the bottom to try to take over 2nd. He's on the apron, slides up. What a move by Ed Boyles Jr. That was quite impressive.
Monster crossover there from Ed Boyles Jr., but look at that. Kenny Capola enters the picture now in the top 4, and here comes as well Wade Palmer, the 5th. He's going to give chase as the 22 now kind of slides back there with Wayne Bowen in the 11, trying to make his way around the 22, is losing a lot of momentum now. The 22 really falling off the map here from P2.
Yeah, a little bit of strategy going on there in the 22 camp. They went a lap down earlier on in this race, got back onto the lead lap, and decided to change things up with some strategy to try to get himself to the front of the field. Restarted in 2nd. He's dropped into 6th, but now he's starting to find a bit of a comforting home in that position. And look at that. The caution flag comes out, and maybe this is going to help him stay up inside that top 10. So the caution flag flies once again. Looks like we have a huge impact and a lot of damage to the number 96 machine of Joshua Nolan down on the back straightaway. He hit that wall a ton, Paul. That was a pretty vicious shot, and you can see the effects of that on the front end of that number 96 Toyota Camry.
Yeah, already taking a peek, seen him on pit road already in the 96, Josh Nolan, having some issues in that machine, and already a couple of laps down, so struggling all night long, and a bad night gets worse here. But we'll take a quick peek. See, he's trying to run down the number 15 car, and he's able to, he had a really good run, but it was just a little bit too good. He slaps the outside wall really, really hard. Big time impact on the inside wall there, and the good news is nobody else was around, so it doesn't hit anybody. You can see he hits the tow truck button. He's going to get a tow down to pit road, but already 9 laps down, scored in 26th. It looks like he's going to be done for the evening, but maybe 12, 11 minutes of repairs left. There's maybe 21 laps. Chris, you might be able to pick up a position here.
That's certainly my hope. We got to check. I think Preston Purium may have actually pitted with the pits closed.
He is down on pit road right now. He's got the 19 machine of Trevor Absher in there with him, and I believe the 5 car, Wade Palmer the 4th, is also down on pit road as well. So a couple cars are there, and then you can see it. Pit road is currently closed, so that is an interesting little decision there by the 13 machine. I'm going to back my replay up and see if it was closed when he came down. And sure enough, yeah, red lights are on. He deciding to come down on a closed pit road. So I don't know exactly what the penalty is going to be for that. I would assume that at the very least, he's going to have to start at the back of the field.
Yeah, that's unfortunate, but man, oh man, what an upset for the 13 as we see him now falling all the way back to P22. But Kyle, we got a couple of cars. Tuddy now 4 laps down. Wade Palmer the 4th. He is our final car on the lead lap. He is in the 24th position. All 24 cars on the lead lap. But Alonzo King, the 47, checking in with his crew on pit road as well. Lots of activity here tonight.
Yeah, the 47 machine of Alonzo King involved in the previous caution to this one, trying to get some damage repaired on that number 7 machine and try to get himself back into contention here later on tonight. Doesn't look like most of the field deciding to come down on this yellow flag sequence other than the cars that we had mentioned. So that's going to hand the lead back over to Ed Boyles Jr. Patrick McLendon going to be in position number 2. Kenny Capola, he is back to where he started there in position number 3. So he was another driver that decided to use a little bit of pit strategy to get himself back up towards the field. And like you said, Chris, now we get to see what the speed in that car is going to be like now that he's gotten himself recovered from his issues and back towards the front of the field.
Absolutely. I'm actually excited to see this restart because you have such a mixed bag of new tires and old tires.
And that restart going to come here in just another lap as the pace lights go off on top of the pace car. We have surpassed the halfway mark here in this race. Lap number 56 is going to be completed once the green flag flies. So we'll do a quick reset for you to get prepared for the restart. As mentioned, Ed Boyles Jr., Patrick McGlennon, they are going to be your front row. Kenny Capola and Wade Palmer V will be in row number 2. Completing your top 5 is the 22 machine of Colin Zeimer and Wayne Bowen in position number 6 there in the 11 car. James Kerr will line up in position number 7. Ken Eller is 8th. Jimmy Absher is in position number 9. And Jonathan Coombs will complete your top 10 in car number 77. So 44 laps to go when we go green. And the restart master himself back on the front row. I can only imagine, Mike, that Ed Boyles Jr. is about to school these guys on this restart once again.
Well, earlier on, he was kind of hesitant on the hammer here, so we're seeing that once again as he snails him around the corner here. But it's going to be up to Coppola now to try to time this properly. We've seen some huge launches, and we'll see it again. The 88 comes out of the hole huge with a massive gap on the 2 of Patrick McGlennon and Kenny Coppola. But Coppola now on the hammer now, and he's got the 24 of Wade Palmer V coming at full attack. Palmer kind of peeked to the bottom there, trying to get a run here, and but he's going to tuck in behind the 3 and try to work it now and work away on the 2 of Patrick McGlennon.
Caution flag flies once again. We've got a few cars crossed up and in trouble on the back straightaway, and one of them involving that 13 machine of Preston Purrier, who we just mentioned came down to pit road after leading a couple laps during the last green flag run. I believe, Paul, it starts with the 43 machine of Joshua Battles. Actually, no. Joshua Battles was the innocent victim of contact coming from the 20 machine of Charles Stevens. Hard impact for the 43 down into the inside wall, and then a few other cars getting collected in it as well off the rebound.
Big bada boom. Vidine Dodge Shop instant replay. There you can see the contact between the 33 and the 20. Comes back down, like you said, in front of the 43. Big contact for the Joshua Battles machine. And you can see collects a couple of other cars as well. Boom, there's the contact once again. Bounces off that inside wall, comes right up. 13 tries to avoid him, but unfortunately the 5 car was there. And there you can see Alonso coming to a stop there. Doesn't look like he hits anybody. Almost gets a piece of the 13, but there you can see some terminal black smoke pumping out of the back of the 43 car. That car is done for the evening, so tough break for Joshua Battles and these guys back here. And looks like we got a couple of takers on pit roads and a couple of longer pit stops, so some damage getting repaired, it looks like, boys.
Yeah, thank God for the Hans device, because that was nasty.
Yeah, that was a pretty big shot down there to that inside wall. Shot that race car right back up the speedway, and a couple of cars there, no place to go, and kind of piling in there, making that a fairly vicious incident, to say the least. These caution flags seem to be just about everything that... well, actually, now looking at it, I'm not too sure if John Tutty is going to get the free pass here, because Alonzo King did kind of slide to come to a stop to avoid that, so I don't know if he is going to get the free pass, if he's going to be considered involved in that or not. Trying to see here, neither of those 2 cars at the back of the field are coming around just yet. But John Tutty's kind of hoping that things will stay this way so we can get an opportunity to get back onto the lead lap. He was the free pass the previous caution, so he's down to 4 laps now behind the race pace, and I can still see Alonzo King being scored at the back of the field, so I don't know if maybe he's just waiting to get waved around or if he's not going to get waved around for this caution, and we won't have a free pass.
These cautions keep going here. We may see Chris back in the saddle here and try to turn some laps here. Chris, always curious with a lot of our sim racers. Do you race in real life? Like, just let us know a little bit of background on the 7 machine.
Actually, I don't. I wish that I did. My dad actually owned a team based out of Yadkinville, North Carolina, that area. And actually ran at Friendship and Bowman Gray. But no, not myself.
Bowman Gray, baby, man. I'm part of the NASCAR home tracks all the way up here in Newfoundland, Labrador, in Canada. And I can tell you, we had a bit of a scuffle at one of our tracks, and one of the directors from NASCAR was up here. And I said to him, I said, I apologize for the little bit of a racket down on pit road. And he goes, what are you talking about? You guys are pussycats compared to Bowman Gray. So I can only imagine what it'd be like to watch a couple of races at such a historical track. There must have been some amazing memories at Bowman.
Absolutely. If you get a chance, you should talk to Jimmy Absher. He actually drives the pace car at Bowman Gray.
Wow. Definitely one on my bucket list. I know, Carl, you got a huge bucket list. You're chasing all these tracks. I'm sure Bowman Gray will be on your radar, but man, oh man, I believe there used to be a football stadium and now it's a racetrack. I watched a bit of videos down there. It's wild to watch, and but yeah, I'll never forget that. His name was Brett, and he said to me, he said, "Yeah, you guys are a bunch of pussycats." So I believe the cops showed up that day too, so I can only imagine what happened.
The cops seem to always be there, and in my opinion, that ruins the fun. If there are people getting taken out in handcuffs, you're just putting a big old blemish on all the fun. Let them at it. Let them go. Let them beat the crap out of each other and have some fun.
You sell more tickets at the next race. That's what
I 100% agree.
Well, we're going to get set to go here. It's all going to be Ed Boyles Jr. We've seen some wild strategy come out of the 88 here tonight. He's been the magic man on these restarts. Will the 2 and the 3, Coppola, have they taken some notes? And nope, the 88 fires a little bit earlier this time. He's going to gain another big monster lead on the 2. But look at Coppola now, tightening up the reins here on the 2 of Patrick McLennan. But Wade Palmer, the 5th, in that picture as well. So this is going to be a wild 38 laps to go here, boys. Coppola hard charging right now on the back of the 2.
Oh, trouble for the 22 of Colin Zeimer. He slaps the outside wall, nearly spins out. He's able to gather the car up, but he is going to lose a few positions. He will go from 5th all the way back to position number 8. Still looks like he's a little slow coming into turn number 1. And the 27 of Ian Yeager going to try to close in. Yeager, another driver that has recovered nicely from earlier struggles tonight. He was off the lead lap, or very close to losing a lap earlier on in this race. Now he has that 2005 J.J. Yaley Virgo Home Depot throwback inside the top 10 and trying to work on position number 8. Mike Miller right behind him in the 48 car. We've seen him inside the top 5. He slipped back just a little bit, but still some time for him to work that throwback Jimmy Johnson, Richard Petty, Dale Earnhardt car back up inside that top 5.
Well, lots of single file racing, but we're having a peek at that Tide machine. A couple of cars here now going side by side. The Skull machine going down a position here, but taking a peek now on the 10, kind of going all over the place. But there we go. There is the Tide machine as he is battle right now with the 11 of Wade Bowen. That's James Kerr in the 10 as he fights to pick up a position here.
That is not James Kerr. That is Ricky Rudd and Darrell Waltrip going at it. Get it right, Mike.
Right. Okay, I forgot my pot.
This battle is going to go on hold as the caution flag has returned to the racing surface here at the Darlington Raceway. We have another backstretch incident. The backstretch seems to be really biting these guys tonight, and the 15 machine of Ryan Kling has claimed the next victim. Looks like he got up into that outside wall, Paul, and unfortunately for the 9 of Matt Mackey, nowhere for him to go, and he sends that 15-4 ride.
Yeah, I think tonight we're going to have the record for the most popped motors here in a single race. You can see a little bit squirrely, gets a little bit of help from the 9 car. Nowhere to go really for the 9 car. Unfortunately 15 slowed up just a bit and hard contact with that inside pit wall. And there you see it, the black smoke coming out of the back. So that motor has been expired, and another car looking like a modified. Kind of a cool look. I kind of dig it, but unfortunately it's not going to go much faster than he is right now. So. It's a tough break for Ryan Kling in the number 15 car.
Well, lots of activity on pit road once again. Coppola's going to check in with his crew, but Ed Boyle's going to stay out. Wade Palmer, the 5th, moving up to P2. Jonathan Coombs now moving in P3 with the 77. James Kerr in the 10, now on the outside of our number 2. Jaeger. I feel like I'm butchering his name.
That's what I go with.
Jaeger.
Jaeger, like Jaeger bombs.
Probably the most prominent name down on pit road right now, the two machine of Patrick McClendon. He gives up position number 2 to come on down and see his pit crew. So it'll be fun to watch him work his way back through the field, see where he lines up and gets himself in place. He has had a very fast car tonight. May have one of the better longer run cars on the field in this event. Haven't really gotten too many long runs over the last 20 or 30 laps. Been a lot of short runs and caution flags, so not necessarily working into his favor. Maybe this pit stop changes up the strategy here. He's trying something different to try to see if he can get back to the front of this field.
Still plenty of laps to go here. We're probably going to see 32 to go here, but as they count them down, that is plenty of time on the clock here. I think you're going to see a little bit more activity on pit road. Like we said, you heard from Chris Bear. What was it? Every 30 laps pit road. But Chris, how's the car going there? Are you almost ready to go? You're down 42 laps. You still got a shot.
I wish I could say I had a better shot at least winning, but every point counts, and I'm actually in the pits now getting service myself.
All right, well, stay with us. You be our in-car commentator. I've always wanted to do that, Kyle.
Fun.
I've always wanted to do that, Kyle. I wanted to strap the microphone to the steering wheel and actually call a race from inside the race car.
I think that would be highly entertaining. As long as you can get a microphone that has the reception to reach out all the way to the backstretch, where obviously you'll be the farthest out from the announcer's tower, I think that would be spectacular.
Yeah, almost like the smashed potatoes that we did with the TCM, with the Vidane TV smashed potatoes. That was just hilarious. I tried to call with you up in the booth with you guys in the cars, and I just ended up, you know what? I'm just going to call it a night and let you guys go at it. It was a bit of a fun. Have you ever done that, Chris? Had a smashed potatoes slash enduro run with your buddies here in the iRacing Sim?
Absolutely. That's what this is all about, right?
Right? Well, I'll look forward to the next one here on Vidane TV, because they can get pretty tangly as the word of the day. But we're going to get back. Lights are out on that pace car. The Mustang's going to take off to the left here. It's going to be Ed Boyles Jr. with the hammer once again. I'm just wondering, we got a new outside leader there, the 24, Wade Palmer, the 5th. Probably hasn't seen a lot of Ed Boyles on his restarts. Not sure if he has picked up any notes, but look at Jonathan Coombs, the 77, kind of really scrubbing the tires, trying to biting at the bit here, get things going. So this will be an interesting restart. This is a bit of a shakeup to the front rows here.
Yeah, a lot of cars in new places here for this restart. 200 cars on the front row. Jonathan Coombs and James Kerr in 3rd and 4th, and then Ian Yeager there in position number 5 in that 27 car. Here we go. 31 laps to go as lap number 69. Nice. Gets completed here on the start of this restart. And how about that? Wade Palmer, the 5th, he did a pretty good job of keeping up with his teammate in the 88 car there. Obviously, still Boyles runs away with it, but that's probably the smallest gap that we have seen on a start or restart all night tonight, and it comes between those 200 Motorsports teammates. Makes you wonder if maybe there was some co-opetition going on there, and there was a countdown for the 88 to help that 24 get a good launch.
I can pretty much guarantee we've been in the sim quite often now, Kyle, and you know those teammates are in the Discord. On the same channel, counting that down. I'll throw that one to Chris. Chris, you ever been up in the front row with your partner? Do you count it down together?
Absolutely. We can't use hand signals here, so we have to.
Right? Guaranteed. Any advantage, right? Especially if you're on the front row. But looks like Wade Palmer and Ed Boyles are going to check out just a little bit. About 0.6 of a second advantage over our third place 77, Jonathan Coombs. But keep an eye on that 10 time machine of James Kerr. He had a lot of activity earlier on, but get some clean air now and trying to reel in our top 3 as we take a peek at himself and Michael Miller in the 48. Another Hendricks car back there finds himself in P5.
Battle for the number 2 position going on. Wade Palmer, the 5th, slapped the outside wall coming off of turn number 2, and that allowed Jonathan Coombs to build momentum down the back straightaway. He cleared through 3 and 4, and now that Spider Motorsports number 77 machine is in the runner-up position, just 1 second behind race leader Ed Boyles Jr. So Coombs doing a very good job. Car off the pace right here on the front straightaway. That is the 20 machine of Charles Stevens. Stevens with a lot of damage on that machine, drifting up to the outside wall here. We are still green flag. He's still moving, trying to get that car back up to speed, but off the pace and in trouble is the 20 of Charles Stevens.
Pretty exciting in Daytona to see Chris Bell with the big win. What'd you think of the road course at Daytona?
Got to be honest with you, Mike, I was at a racetrack myself, so I didn't get to watch any of it. Saw the highlights and stuff. Seemed like a very exciting race, and how can you complain about another first-time winner? First time since 1950, which, by the way, was the second year that the NASCAR Cup Series was in existence, that we had 2 first-time winners open up the first 2 races of the season.
Unbelievable. I mean, the last lap, my TV actually went black. And the next thing I seen was Chris Bell taking the interview. So I was pretty pissed off, but congratulations to him. I myself, our team competed against them at the Governor's Cup down in New Smyrna. Great competitor with the Toyota team, so big shout out to him for the big win. But bit of a transition here in our top 5. That's Michael Miller picking up the position on the 10 of James Kerr. Miller is one on the run, trying to join his teammates now. But while we were jammering there, the 77 of Jonathan Coombs picks up that spot on the 24. And look at that. Oh, the 24 spanks the wall and tags his partner. He's going to go around for a spin, and look at that.
And there's a third car.
Oh, the 9. Another teammate gets into the rear corner. He just gets spank, spank, spank.
Oh, not at all what the Hendrick Motorsports organization wanted to see. Probably the dominant team on the night, and one mistake from Wade Palmer, the 5th, collects 3 of the Hendrick Motorsports cars here with just 25 laps to go. Man, oh man, Paul, not good at all coming off of turn 2.
No, and you can see he was losing that car for about a half a lap, and just a tough break. The 48 didn't get too much of a hit, but man, he gets T-boned there by the 9 car, his teammate. That's going to be Matt Mackin in the 9, and there you can see a little bit of a tag there from the 19, and it seems like the calm has finally come out there. You can see the 2 coming up, but he gets everything loaded up. But, man, the 24 just having to look out that windshield and see the black smoke pumping out of the back of his teammate's car there. That's definitely not something you want to that's not something you want to go to the Monday morning team meeting and have to explain. That's a rough break.
With 23 to go, boys, we got a lot of activity with our 77 and 88, Ed Boyles, Jonathan Coombs, Michael Miller, the 48, James Kerr, the 10, and the 23 now on pit road checking in with their team. But for all those listeners at home, our good friend Chris Spear, the 7, is finally on the track. Chris, what do you think, bud?
I think pace is going to be a key to the rest of this race.
You just stay out there and pick up another couple laps. You're only 42 down.
That's okay. I'll as long as I get 1 or 2, I'll be happy.
Well, taking a look at it real quick, Chris, looks like you're 11 laps from the Joshua Nolan machine in 96, and then 1 more, I believe, should put you in 25th, if I'm reading this right. I might be completely wrong on that, but it looks like you can at least get 1 more spot.
Every little bit will help.
Points, points, points.
I like having a driver in the booth, Kyle.
I think it's going to be pretty close on that 25th position between him and Joshua Battles. Should definitely be able to get the spot from Joshua Nolan. Checking things out right here in the points for this series. Just trying to see where our good friend Chris Spear is at. I cannot find you.
Just
Chris.
ask
There you
him.
are, 26th place in the points. You've missed 5 races up to this point, so you've got some work to do. Obviously tonight not really helping too much on your playoff chase, so gonna need some work here in the 4 races following this one if you're gonna become a playoff driver.
Absolutely. It's a win and in kind of thing for me, and I know it, and that's why I come in here trying to do the best that I possibly can, and we'll do what we can.
Get her done on the next one. Hopefully I'll be here in the booth with you cheering you on. But Good luck out there. We're going to get back to green flag just a moment as they try to double them up here. I believe the lights are still on that Mustang, so they're going to take him around probably one more time. That's going to leave 20 laps on the board here, Kyle. Very interesting as we've seen Kenny Capola now checking in with pit road, pressing period. Matt Mackin now in pit road as well. Big shakeup right now with the front row. Wayne Bowen is your current leader. Caleb Levner, who had some issues there earlier, was down a lap, now finds himself to the outside of row number 1. Unbelievable.
He was actually down 2 laps even. 2. So we've seen this become a race of attrition, but we've also seen it as a race of recovery. And Caleb Levener, another driver who has recovered very nicely and has recovered at the right time. Levener was the winner last week at the Kansas Speedway, punched his ticket to the playoffs, and now he's trying to see if he can go back-to-back, add himself some more playoff points, and set himself up for a championship run. So we'll see what that Texaco Haviland number 12 Ford Mustang has on the outside of the front row for Wayne Bowen, who is taking the lead for the first time tonight. Things are all sorts of jumbled up. This is going to be fun. Kellen Eller is now in 3rd, Trevor Absher is 4th, and Patrick McLendon has worked his way up to position number 5, taking advantage of some of the drivers making pit stops under this caution flag. So I would assume that 2 car has fresher rubber underneath his machine compared to the 4 cars in front of him. Keep your eye on that Miller Lite number 2 ride. He has an opportunity to work through the field here.
Well, the big thing here is tires. And our top 8 have 13 to 21 laps under tires. Keep an eye on the 10th position of Ed Boyles Jr. in the 77 and 9th position as they got the fresh rubber all the way down the field. This is going to be a tire strategy here as we get a restart here. Wayne Bowen gets away clear, but full attack right now. The 12 of Caleb Levner coming at it, and man, they're really jumping. Oh, Ed Boyles Jr. is going to get into it, and the 77 gets collected. Huge wreck coming out of turn 2. Oh,
the
baby.
Dominant car on the night in trouble, and a violent flip for the 77 of Jonathan Coombs. The way that a race can change in an instant, Ed Boyles Jr. leading the most laps to this point. He came to pit road under that previous caution, makes a mistake. Well, actually, looking at the replay here, Paul, I think he tried to make that crazy, wacky bonsai move down on the apron like he did earlier in the race. This time, however, it did not work.
Yeah, and we just barely caught a glimpse of that 88 trying to make that move work, and unfortunately it didn't. We're going to watch this one from the chopper view because you can kind of see the 3 cars in front of the 88 were pretty much involved in this, and you can see already showing his cars about halfway down the straightaway, moving down just a little bit, and there you can see not out of bounds here at Darlington. You can go behind. The 77 got up into the wall, and the 88 just kind of shot down low to try and avoid him. And as he comes back up here, you can see the transition in the banking gets that car out of shape in a big way. Saves it once, almost saves it again, overcorrects, boom, right into the 77. There you see a violent half a front flip, and he tumbles in the 77. The DoorDash 23 cars involved. There's Chris. Oh, Chris, look out. Chris got tagged in it. Well, a little bit of damage there. You can see the
Well, you can't tell him to look out after he's already piled into it, Paul.
Hey, it's my show. I can do what I want.
It's replay. Chris is on pit road, man.
But man,
I absolutely am, guys. I just couldn't get away from that one, and it looks like I ran right into the 23. If you can see that from my viewpoint, it was hard to go anywhere else.
Taking a look at the onboard right now from the 7 cars, smoke cars. Oh, the 23. Oh, he just dashed right up in front of him. That's a hard hit.
You were almost Tom Cruise. Drive through it. You could do it.
Go where the wreck is. But a lot of tore up race cars here on a lap number 83. Less than 20 to go here, boys. And well, the fastest car, the 88. I don't know if he's done for the night, but he's definitely got some big time damage, and it's anybody's race at this point.
Man, like the 95 Ken Alert. Is that how you say it? Ellert. Sorry, my friend. Stay thirsty. But the 24 laps now on those tires, so eventually you're going to have to see the 95 come down. He's just not going to be able to make it, I don't think, on those tires. But Wayne Bowen, Caleb Levner, all the way back to the 8th position of Derek Cook, 16 to 17 laps on those tires. I thought we were going to see a monster move from Ed Boyles Jr., but he got kind of into that transition, like you said, Paul. but that's going to set him back quite a bit now into the 16th position. But we're seeing Kenny Capola on pit road once again. This is going to be his 4th or 5th time checking in with his crew. The 3 machine with some heavy damage to the front here, trying to keep it together. So unfortunately for him, a lot of laps spun throughout the week in practice. He's going to be at the mercy of that damage.
Yeah, it looks like that 3 machine at Capola picked up some extra damage from one of these more recent incidents, and he's going to have to see the attention of his pit crew, which he's about to do now, to try to tape up that 3 machine and see if he can recover and get as best of a finish as possible. So looks like we may potentially be getting the 1 to go signal this time by. They're about to cross the stripe here. So the survey on that one says, yes, we will go back to green flag next time. So this will be a 15-lap run to the finish if we can keep it green. The top 5 looking fairly similar to what it did on the previous restart. Wayne Bowen and Caleb Levner will be on row number 1. Ken Ellert and Trevor Absher on row 2. Patrick McLendon on those fresh tires in position number 5. He has his teammate Colin Zeimer there with him in 6th. Tim Ingram in 7th. Derek Cook 8th. James Kerr in 9th. And Michael Miller completes your top 10. It's been a crazy race to say the least thus far here, Mike. We've seen a lot of things twist and turn, and well, we just saw something flip over there. So you can make a prediction, but chances are you're not going to get it right. This has just been a very unpredictable race to say the least.
Yeah, well, we've seen some highlights, a little bit of foreshadowing, but I kind of digging the row number 5, James Kerr, the time machine, and Michael Miller in the 48. I think they may have something. The 48 machine did pick up a little bit of damage from his teammate earlier on, but that 10 with the fresher tires could get a strong run here. We'll see what happens. The 95, quite a bit of laps on the tire, 24 laps on those tires now. But we see the restart here. Look at the 2 flare out on the 95 as we get things going here. The 11 gets away quickly, but Caleb Levner all over the back bumper here and taking the peak half car. I like the driving style of the 12 here as Levner has come back into the picture from earlier on, being down 2 laps and now being a presence for Hart Charger. For possibly a win here tonight now as he peaks to the bottom here, Kyle. Side by side to go, door to door.
Trying to go back-to-back victories here in the FATHEADZ Cup Series is Caleb Levner. He's recovered from an early issue and is looking very strong all over the back bumper of Wayne Bowen, trying to put on the pressure. Ken Ellert also starting to reel his way into this mix, and right behind Ellert, Patrick McLendon has moved his way into position number 4 and is right there with Ellert in the 95, looking to take over 3rd place, looking to the inside as they come off of turn number 4. Ellert loses some momentum, and here comes the 2 of McLendon down to the bottom. Position has been made. Will he clear going into turn number 1? He does. Slides up to the outside safer barrier. Patrick McLendon up to 3rd and has his sights set on his teammate Caleb Levner in the 12 and Wayne Bowen, the Joe Gibbs Racing driver, leading this field.
With 12 to go, this is going to get exciting, but the rest of the field is kind of checked out into 2 groups here. I thought that the 10 of James Kerr kind of had something for us, but he's still within reach about, I believe he is, 4.8 seconds behind. So those guys with the new tires, obviously that damage is a factor here tonight as they are way behind the field. As you see, they're press superior with some heavy damage, some smoke coming from the 13 Geico. But right now, the story right now is Caleb Levner taking a peek here on Wayne Bowen, trying to hang on here. And as they come around here, it will be 10 to go here, Kyle.
Yeah, this battle for the lead really starting to tighten up, and it's going to go on hold because the caution flag comes out once again just when things were getting really dicey. Up at the front of the field, we have more trouble, and the caution flag comes out once again, trying to see where it comes, and it comes with the 22 of Colin Zeimer. We've seen how out of control that car has been throughout this race tonight, and unfortunately, he makes a mistake trying to get the position away from Ken Ellert, and those 2 cars find trouble in turns 1 and 2. Paul.
Yeah, running up towards the front in the top 10, the 22 car was, and we can see here as we're pulling up the Verdane Dodge Shop instant replay, some contact with the number 95 of Ken Ellert, and it almost just looks like he drove right up into him. That's really. Oh, it looks like he did clip the apron as he goes into the corner here. Kind of almost straddles that that dotted white line as he comes in, and that really is going to upset the car. And there you can see, kind of shoots him up into the number 95 car, and they do both get pointed in the right direction up until that point. There you see the 22 turned across the nose of the 95, and that's going to bring out the caution, being that he's right up in the racing groove. But we're going to have a restart with probably 6, maybe 7 laps to go here. And man, it's still anybody's race.
Well, that caution is going to be a game changer here. We don't see a lot of activity on pit road. They're going to stick it out here, but tires definitely a factor. Quite a bit of laps right now on our leaders. Wayne Bowen with 25 laps on that rubber. Caleb Leveler with 24. McLennan, who was kind of magical on the last couple of laps, he is a factor here tonight. But with 8 to go here, these guys are going to try to hang it out to dry here.
And to try to bring the playoff picture into perspective here for this event, Wayne Bowen in the 11 machine, trying to see here, he does not have a victory on the season. Caleb Levener, we mentioned, he got his first win last week at the Kansas Speedway. His teammate behind him, though, Patrick McClendon, he is 7th place in the playoff picture, but he does not have a win just yet, so he's sitting in a good spot, but you know he wants to go to victory lane. Trevor Absher, again, right in front of McClendon in the playoff picture. No wins for him. And Ken Elder, we just mentioned, he just got caught up in that wreck there, so he's got some damage to try to overcome here in the final stages of this race. So this is going to be very good. Very, very good. These top 3 cars were very competitive on that green flag run. We know that the 2 machine has a little fresher rubber than what the 12 and the 11 do, but you can't give anything up. It's just going for a win. The victory gets you those 5 playoff points, which we know how important those are for the playoffs once we start those here in a little over a month. This should be very good. A couple guys trying to fight for their first wins on the season. We got some teammates mixed in there. This should be a very entertaining run to the finish.
Well, one car in particular that's had some troubles here tonight, the 47 Alonzo Caden finds himself in the 7th position. But he has the freshest tires of the bunch in the top 7. 15 laps on those. Preston Purier with 14 laps on his tire. Will tires be a factor here? But a lot of damage on some of these cars. I'm not quite sure how much damage our leaders have at this point. It doesn't seem to be looking, but quite a few of these cars have been through a lot of cautions throughout this 100-lap main event.
So taking another look at the season-long point standings, found Wayne Bowen. He is back in 25th place in the point standings right now. He's missed 4 races out of the 11 already started this season. So this is a huge opportunity for him to punch his ticket to the playoffs. He is not going to point his way into the playoffs right now. It is going to be very difficult for him to do that. If he can keep these fast cars behind him and take this victory tonight, this will put him in the playoffs, give him an opportunity to contend for the championship, so you know how important this is for him. This may be his only opportunity. Who knows what happens in the remaining 4 races of the regular season for this 11 machine. If he cannot capitalize now, he may not have an opportunity to get into the playoffs moving forward. So this is important. This is his time to shine. He needs to be perfect here on these final 6 laps and bring that car to victory lane.
And for those tuning in at home, watching here Facebook Live on Verdane TV, and as well as the FATHEADZ Cup Series, strap in. It's going to be 5 to go here as the lights are out on Mustang. They're going to pull off here. It's going to be all up to Wayne Bowen to get things going here. Will he fire early or will he hold him back? Strategy is going to be a big factor here as we see a 5-lap shootout. Here comes Wayne Bowen with the hammer. Levner to the outside. Keep an eye on Patrick McClendon in the 2 and Mortimer 2 on the inside.
Pretty good restart by the front row. They separate themselves from Patrick McClendon quite nicely. Caleb Levener, he has probably been the best restarter that hasn't been the control car tonight. Bowen goes to the top side. Here comes Levener down to the bottom. Side by side in turn 2. Contact, and Bowen goes to the wall. He takes Patrick McClendon with him. They both stay straight. Now McClendon spins back up the track. Hang on. McClendon shoots into the air like a NASA space shuttle. Barrel rolls down the track straight away. We have huge trouble, and the caution flag flies once again. My goodness.
Get it out of you, my son.
Big.
Not good at all
Guys,
for
I
the
think
two
I'm going to
machine.
need to go to get new pants after that one.
Chris, man, wow.
Hiya, Zeus Marimba.
Well, that was the first time I actually had a NASA actually thrown into a race here. Great call there, Kyle.
I think the only camera angle we really need to see on this is the in car of the 2 car.
Hang on, boys. Strap on and hang on to everything you got. You're going for a ride.
T minus about 3 seconds. Take a peek at this. We're even gonna do it in half speed here, so you can see the leaders make contact a little bit here. You can see the 12 shoots on down low. The 11 holds his line up top, and I believe the 12 caught the apron just a little bit, and it just the 11 comes down a bit. And there you see a little bit of net code. They didn't actually touch, but the connection between the 2 drivers possibly having some issues. But here you see the 2. He gets sideways. He shoots down in the inside wall. And this is where he gets tagged, right in here. Boom. Lift off. There he goes. To the moon, the number 2 car. Oh, man, that's I hope you didn't have too big of a lunch before the race, because you might have just lost it. Sparks flying, smokes flying, just all over the place. But sticks the landing. 8 out of 10. I like it.
I just puked.
But we'll take one more quick look at that here in slow motion, because that was definitely a lot of cars involved there. You see the 11 coming off the wall, the 2 car here, the 95. Looks like he skates on by no problem, so that's good news for him. But this is where the Calamity Suits almost hits that 10 Tide car, the 33 big time. That's the one that sent them flying, and comes back down there. You can see the 88 of Boyles. He gets involved. The 3 gets a piece of it. The 24 gets by scot-free, it looks like, and looks like the 27 gets by on the low side. Motor damage up there. Oh, there's Chris. Made it by. Look out, Chris. Look out. 33 pops a motor as well. So add another one to the junk pile there. We're going to take one more look. One more in car from the 7 car. Let's take a look at this. Well, walk us through this, Chris.
Honestly, by the time I got there, all I saw was a lot of smoke, and then I saw the 2 right in front of me.
You can see him rumbling and tumbling down the embankment, and there he is. He gets that thing stopped, and woohoo!
It's too bad we didn't get a replay on the audio inside the car, because I'm just wondering if he threw old Duke's boys. Yeehaw!
For sure, one of the more sketchy wrecks we've seen here.
Or SOB.
Although I'm sure there was a couple of swears in there for sure.
Guys, I gotta tell you, I think there's more fenders on my modified league than this one.
You got that right. There's a lot of damaged cars here at Darlington this evening, and even the front runners all the way through the top 5. Look at all the rubber build up there on the hood of the 95. The hood almost looks gray. I believe it was originally white. There you can see the 47 missing a lot of paneling on the front. The nose of the 12 cars, all sorts of caved in, but looks like we're gonna have ourselves a green-white checkered here, Kyle.
Yeah, this is exactly what, Chris, you need to extend this race a little bit to potentially pick up an extra position here on the 5 machine. As actually it looks like, did Joshua Battles get back out onto the racetrack? He did, so he is actually going to snooker you a position here, or at least the potential for one. So this will be, as you said, a green-white checkered finish. Here we go, the only attempt at one that we have. And boy, look at these cars up in front. Caleb Levener, he was 2 laps down at one point. He is now your race leader. Ken Ellert was just involved in a caution 2 yellows ago. Hung on, and he is second. Trevor Absher, he's been all right tonight. Fairly quiet night, but he is still in position number 2, or in position number 3. And how about Alonzo King, another driver outside of the playoffs right now? Look at that car. It is torn up. It is beat to shreds. He is 4th place with an opportunity to win this race. I don't even know if I can handle myself on this green-white checker finish. This is going to be nuts.
Well, it's going to be quite tangly, and it's always great to see the green-white checkered. Lights are out on the Mustang. Will the 47 give the 95 a huge push? But look at the laps on that 95. 40 laps on those tires. Can he hang on for 2 more? We'll find out in just a moment. As Levener gets it going here. Wait here. Fire in the hole. 95 spanks the wall. And here comes Absher. The 19 takes over that P2. And the 97 of Alonzo takes a peek to the inside of the 95. Kind of sets back there. but huge damage on that 47. That's not going to be good for him, but we've got a chase for the front. Absher trying to reel in the 12 of Caleb Levener. We are going to get close, but the 95, those tires are going to pop. That's going to bring out the caution. We're going to see that once more. Chris Beer may pick up another position on Wade Palmer to 4th. There you go, Chris. Another spot, buddy.
Caution flag is out. The race is over. Caleb Levener is going to go back-to-back in the Fatheads Cup Series, and as long as he can keep connected to the server here in the final 3/4 of this lap, he is going to go to victory lane here. As the race is over, it will end under caution. The 47 of Alonzo King just straight up turns the 95 of Ken Allert going down the back straightaway. The field is coming around the backstretch trying to catch up to the pace car. This race will finish under caution, and it will be Caleb Levener. Back-to-back victories here in the Fatheads Cup Series off of turn number 4, slowly but surely trudging along the racetrack, taking the victory lap. From 2 laps down, early race troubles, he recovers, takes the lead when it matters the most, and coming across the start-finish line, it is now official. Caleb Levener, the winner of the Wayback 150 here in Darlington.
Did you just throw your whiskey? I feel robbed. I thought we were going to go back, but I guess the white flag did fly, did it? Or is this just the rules?
One attempt only at the green white checker.
Oh, I feel robbed.
Oh, we might have some love going on here, boys. Wayne Bowen does not seem to be too happy with Caleb Levener, and he's going to show it here on the cooldown lap. Give some donuts to the right side of that number 12 machine. Remember, it was Levener who kind of put that 11 machine up into the outside wall and ruined his opportunity to go to victory lane tonight. So, lots of chaos, lots of carnage, lots of excitement, lots of drama, to say the least, here tonight at the Darlington Raceway.
Chris, what do you think of being up in the booth as a driver commentator? I kind of like you up here.
Oh, I definitely enjoy it. I will say, if I had been in competition, it might have been a little bit harder. I was having a hard enough time talking to my teammate on Discord earlier.
Us yakking in your ear. I don't know if that'll work out for you, but maybe another time. But your race winner, Caleb Levener, burning it down right now at the start-finish line. We're going to have a few moments with him as he has entered into the picture here. Kyle, you got your race winner.
Indeed, I do. Fresh off the victory celebration, Caleb Levener. Back-to-back victories here in the Fatheads Cup Series. Caleb, this was a wild race to say the least, not only for you, but for everybody in this field. 2 laps down early on in this event, you found a way to recover, and you go to victory lane tonight. Talk us through this race.
Man, it's an awesome win, man. Darlington, I consider the hometown track, about 30 minutes away from my house, so this is a special one. But it was tough to begin with. Went down 2 laps because I was overheating, which turned out to be a really good move, and just battled through the field. And I hated for my teammate Patrick, man. He had a great car and really had a chance to win that race up there. Bad luck, but I apologize to Wayne Bowen, but it's hard racing at the end of the race. When you get that chance to stick that car in there, you got to do it, especially to win a race like at Darlington.
Yeah, take me through that move there with Wayne Bowen and your restarts as well. It seemed like you were the best on restarts when not in the control car position. Did a really good job of being able to hang with that 11 machine of Bowen. And like you said, you got the run, went down to the bottom, and things just didn't work out very well, at least for him on that pass. And that's what put you into the race lead.
So I think we had 3 restarts where I was in second place, and I think he jumped the restart in the same spot on the first 2. So I kind of made that adjustment and was able to jump with him. And I knew going into 1 and 2, I always had a big run. I actually bumped him a couple laps ago, 1 and 2, and I knew when he kind of drifted the track and I could bring it down, that's when I had my chance to pass him. Probably the only chance I would have had in the race, maybe. Got to take him.
Caleb, as mentioned, back-to-back victories here in the Fatheads Cup Series. These are your first 2 victories in this series this season. What does that do for your confidence and putting yourself into the championship picture now, tying yourself with points leader Tim Wortman Jr. for most wins on the season thus far? 4 races to go before we get to the playoffs. What's going through your mind, and how well do you think you can compete for a championship once we get into the playoffs this season?
To be honest, I got all the confidence in the world right now. It's probably a bad thing, but I don't Dover, I feel like it's a really good track. I feel like I can compete for a win there as well. So hopefully we can keep carrying some speed and going to the playoffs on a high note. I know there's some tracks in the playoffs I'm really looking forward to getting to as well.
Caleb, I'll be a little bit honest with you here. It's nice to see you go to Victory Lane tonight. I was a little bit jealous that I couldn't see the Ryan Blaney car go to Victory Lane last week as a Ryan Blaney fan. So you make up for it for me tonight, and you go back to back. Who would you like to thank for the victory tonight?
I'd like to thank my teammates, for us a good setup for this week to compete. I'd like to thank all our sponsors, Fathead, Harpoon Designs, Sim Button Boxes. The list goes on. And I'd like to thank my grandpa, my dad for helping me during the week get my mind right, and my wife and grandma and all of them. So appreciate everybody, and you guys put on a good broadcast every week. Thank you so much.
So there you have it. Winner of tonight's Wayback 150 at the Darlington Raceway for the FATHEADZ Cup Series. Second win on the season in consecutive fashion, and giving himself another 6 playoff points for the playoffs to try to make a push for the championship. That is Caleb Levener. We'll send it down to whoever to speak to our second place finisher, Trevor Absher.
Trevor, you got a copy?
I got a copy.
Hey, bro, man, you had a hard night, man. A lot of work coming from the back and from the front to the back, back to the front. Take us through that final lap. Did you have anything for Caleb for that final lap if that caution didn't come through?
I think I for sure did, because I was coming on strong, and this track's a really hard track when you're running behind people, and I had a good distance on them, but I knew I could get them, and I'm getting tired of finishing second, third, and talking to y'all finishing second and third, so I guarantee I wasn't scared to use the bumper. I can tell you that now.
That's what I like to hear. Rubbin's racing, right? But you had a bit of issue at the beginning. You kind of had to fight back up here. What was your strategy coming in here tonight? Short, long runs? What was your pit strategy?
Well, my strategy was, I had the incident with actually the third place finisher Alonso, so it don't make me feel too bad, but the first restart, I wrecked them. I tried to stay off the apron because I know my car's really loose on the apron, and I got into them, and I felt bad, and then every time I started in the back, I was going to run in the back. Since I wrecked, I was going to run in the back until lap 60 is exactly what I told my teammates. And I just kept fixing my repairs and everything, and finally lap 60 I said, all right, it's time to go, boys, and I just kind of held on to her, dodged all the wrecks in front of me.
Send it, right? But
Send it.
Send it. But
100%.
Trev, it's always great to talk to you. You're a strong competitor here in this FATHEADZ Cup Series. Got anything for us at the next one? You're gonna go for the big win? Playoffs coming around the corner, eh?
Oh yeah, I'm gonna be a force to be reckoned with here in a couple weeks. I'm gonna start getting on this game just like everybody else does. Like I said, I only play on Wednesdays. I'm gonna start getting on here more during the week, and ain't nobody gonna be able to touch me.
You got anybody you want to thank for the P2 big podium finish here tonight, Trev?
Yeah, I want to thank my teammates. They gave me great information during this race, like where the pace car is while I was getting repairs. I want to thank Simnut, Harpoon Designs, Fatheads. They do a great job. And number one, I want to thank Chris Spear. He's been doing a great job this week with the media and everything. So I want to thank him and Ed. They've been doing a great job.
That's awesome to hear, man. So much color coming out of you, man. I really hope you get that big win now in the next couple of weeks. Great to chat with you, Chris. Congratulations from all of us at Vidane TV up here in the booth. Great run for the 19.
Thank you.
And I believe we have a third place finisher, Alonzo King's in here. Paul, you want to have a chat?
Yeah, I can have a chat. We'll take a chat walk down pit road here. We'll talk to the modified driver here, the 47. Oh, that's not a modified. That's a cup car that's been tanked a couple of times. Alonzo, could you just kick that left quarter panel, and that's the only piece of that car I think is still straight, man. Talk to us about your race.
You know what? The crew chief just told me to go out and hit the pace car. That's the only thing I didn't hit all night. You know what I'm saying? So I tell you what, Trevor, me and that boy's going to have a reckoning. Something. But no, I had a good night of racing. I love this track. It's a driver's track, and that seems to be the tracks that I excel on a lot. I want to give a shout out to Ryan Kling and Ian Yeager. Helped me out with the setup, and we all got together and we ran pretty good together, and that first start, it just got me there, and I got back behind everybody and just drove up through as much as I could. And I hate to take Ken out on that last run there, but I couldn't go any lower and try to enter the corner. So
Now we talked to Chris. We talked to a couple other drivers throughout the night and beforehand in practice. Some guys were setting up for the long run. Some guys were setting up for the short run, not really knowing what to expect here from Darlington. Did you have any kind of set game plan coming into tonight, or just kind of winging it?
well, to be honest with you, my car was set up for a 40 lap, but I was stable completely through the run. I could run constant 27.2s, 27.4s. And probably about a 40 lap run, I was down to 25.2s, which I thought I was going to be competitive all night, so which we got a good green flag run there, and I ran through the field pretty good, and I was happy with the car. So,
And a solid run here, podium finish on Verdane TV here at Darlington for the FATHEADZ Cup Series, and there's some logos all over the car. Well, there's a couple of logos left on the car, I think. Who gets it done for the 47? Who gets you to and from the track?
well, I tell you what, I just want to thank MVP, which is my veterans passion. They're a great group of guys for the veterans that, I am. And I want to thank Butt Kicker, and I'd really like to thank Simnut Racing, Budget Sim Boxes, Harpoon Design, Fatheads Eyewear. I want to give a shout out to Chris, with this. And I'd love to get a shout out for you guys because, my family watches this, and you guys put on one heck of a show, and I love it.
Absolutely, man. And we're glad to have you on board. Glad to talk to you. And man, it's been pretty cool. We're learning a lot of new drivers, new personalities, and it's pretty exciting to have you guys on board with us here, the FATHEADZ Cup Series, and kind of a staple here now on Wednesday nights for sure. So great run. Congratulations on the third place finish.
Well, I hope y'all talk to me more often. Just not with Trevor in here, But no, I have a lot of fun with these guys. I love every one of them, so.
For sure, and definitely some great racing here. Again, congratulations. But, man, that's going to wrap it up here for us tonight. Kyle, Mike, great race here at Darlington. A little bit of throwback action. I guess the only question that we can ask, what was your favorite paint scheme for the night?
Well, it ain't the paint scheme I had. I threw the back with the Sam Bass Dale Earnhardt car, but I'm a big Dale Earnhardt fan, so Kenny, he has my paint scheme of the night. I loved it.
Kenny Capola with the 3 Wrangler car. Kyle, what'd you think? What was the best paint scheme in your opinion?
Oh man, these guys did a great job with the throwback paint schemes, and it was really cool to see them all, or at least the majority of them, throughout the field tonight. Not everybody deciding to take the throwback look, but a lot of them did, and it's hard for me to nail it down. There were some sentimental paint schemes out there for me. Of course, the Rainbow Warrior paint scheme that Wade Palmer V ran. Being a longtime Jeff Gordon fan as a kid, that obviously brings back memories. I liked Trevor Absher's car. I was a Carl Edwards fan when Gordon retired, so seeing a Carl Edwards paint scheme out on the racetrack was really cool as well. I got to give a little bit of love to Caleb Levener, too, running the Ryan Blaney car, and his throwback paint scheme to Davey Allison. That looked very nice on that number 12 Ford Mustang. So those will probably be my front runners. You can take your pick as to which one would be my number 1.
Mikey, what about you? What was your favorite paint scheme of the night?
I'm not going to take any favors. I like them all.
There you
But
go.
I'm a little biased to the 19 car, Carl Edwards fan and a Truex, so a little bit biased with the 19. So if I'm gonna pick one, I'll go with our boy Trevor Absher. What a run he had, man! It's been an awesome night here with the FATHEADZ Cup Series, boys. Thanks for. It's been a busy night for us, me and Paul. Double duties, but it's always a pleasure to be here and calling all the way up here in the deep north. It's a wild night. It's late here now. It's 12:30 at night. Always great pleasure to be here, especially with you, Kyle. What an awesome race. A little bit different than the ones that we've seen before. Not a lot of green flag pit stops. A lot of cautions peppered throughout this whole one. So But definitely a surprising finish here and exciting right to the edge of the seat here tonight.
Absolutely. And just taking a quick look at the upcoming events here on Verdane TV. Got some Eastbound Esports returning here to Verdane TV. Woo woo! Little doubleheader action at Phoenix Legacy. Tim's Corner Motorsports coming up right after that. Then we're off Friday, Saturday. This guy going to be doing a little bit of drinking. Sunday night Sim Racing Unleashed.
When do you not? Let's be honest.
Well, there's that.
Whoosh.
Sim Racing Unleashed comes back for race number 2 here on Verdane TV Sunday night at 9 o'clock, running at Kansas Speedway. Then we got another doubleheader Monday with the Tim's Corner Live. Definitely check that out. If you haven't checked that show out, we're going to be on episode 3 this Monday at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Check it out. A lot of cool racers and people involved in racing. We just made a big announcement about the Maritime Street Stock Tour, and looking at the old Google Maps, that Speedway 660 is only an 8-hour drive from the Renner Race Car shop. So I want to.
How about Newfoundland? Get on the boat.
That's like a 473-day trip. I don't have time for that.
You can sleep on the boat and drink at the bar. You wake up in Newfoundland the next day. It's a great trip. It's like getting on the Love Boat.
The love boat for this guy. But after that, we got the Sim 500 Trans Service Cup Series at 9:15, and then another doubleheader next Wednesday night, same as we did here tonight. Tim's Corner Weekly Racing Series at Nashville Fairgrounds, and then back here for FATHEADZ Cup Series action at 9:15. Great race here tonight. Congratulations to Caleb Levener, 2 in a row here on Verdane TV. Not too many drivers can say they've done that here on Verdane TV, so very, very cool to have that happen for the number 12 car. But I'm going to wrap it up here for us. Check out fatheads.com. Use that promo code SHOWTIME for 40% off. They got all the sunglasses and prescription glasses, and Tony Stewart's smoke brand is on there as well, so be sure to check that stuff out and support the league here on Wednesday nights here on Verdane TV. But for everybody from Verdane TV, myself, Showtime, Paul Strickland Jr., Mike on the Rock, Kyle Young, and everybody here at the FATHEADZ Cup Series, thank you guys so much. We'll catch you on the flip side, and when we do, we're going to be doing it live. Have yourselves a fantastic night.
Live and
Oh.